Mauri ora. Aroha mai. I worked out what I did the other time when I went to go live an hour ago. I went to put the phone in the holder so my hand wouldn't get tired, and I put it right on the off switch of my phone, so it just slowly turned it off. Sorry about that. My bad. Oh, I'm Rex Landy. I'm a turf, big fucking turf now. I was very lucky to get on and have a chat with Posey about things post Auckland. It's sort of, I can see a professor in glasses and a white coat saying, well, so you're newly peaked after the violence and loving kindness that was going to be beaten into those women. Our geography dictates some of our culture too, of the influence we get from America. Where Turf Island is, you get the Eastern Seaboard, New York. We get Hollywood and the Bloods and the Crips, and that. It's a very broad brush I'm painting with, but a lot of the influences we get are from that West Coast because of our geography. That's what we get. And that the scamdemic, it's so hard to talk about anything without it, but we're not allowed to, it seems. Morning, everybody on the other side of the world. Chair, bless your heart. And morning, Joe and Bad Cat. Thanks for joining. Just a few thoughts, of the fallout. I've noticed, as I say, the scamdemic effects. Just the lockdown was enough to destroy social cohesion. So now when people are, and if you get your news off the lamestream media all the time, of course you're not going to be informed of what's going on, though. Just seeing a bit of the ratio on Twitter, the people reposting some of the mainstream media stuff going, oh, this is good stuff, and everyone's going, is bullshit. The emperor is naked. The trans tentacles, it's a many-pronged attack. It's, in our schools. And as I say, this professor, so you're newly peaked. Don't talk to me, but find people that you resonate with and reach one, peak one, especially with the people with kids in school, they're, I don't know, because I'm pretty sure my nephews and nieces are all like, fuck no, our kids don't believe that shit. With that scamdemic stuff, I'm living in a post-jab world and I can see the damage, and a lot of people aren't going to take any more. But we've got the attacks on the farmers, attacks on land, in farmland. I know we sound like conspiracy theorists, but all those train derailments and trucks and things, the Canadian truckers being punished for honking their horns. Fuck. Come on now. I know they want to memory hole a lot of that. The BlackRock and Vanguard, until they are fully broken up and dismantled, this is just my ramblings, I believe, our boycotts and no Nike and no this, the Budweiser thing, Anheimer, the big boys who own Anheimer Busch or whatever, they're, indirectly in that owned right back to BlackRock and Vanguard and folk. And Larry Fink, he's got big enough pockets to just cover all those losses. This is the selling of the ideology, the softening of the ground for the messy compromise. That's a nice segue into Michael Biggs, wonderful ally for some, cry wanker to me. I'm not impressed. For me, he's another useful idiot like Stella O'Malley, making bank off this fucking big bank. Sitting on the fence, they're going to be punished severely, I believe, in the court of public opinion. That's not a threat. As Caitlin Cherry, the editor of Stuff, told me my letter was threatening because I put it in capitals, don't misgender me, you bigot. That's literal hate. What a Nazi. I put in, she's the editor of stuff.co.nz here. I was complaining and mocking her about her, stupidity of filleting the tranny dick, so back to Michael Biggs. He talked here last year. Speak Up for Women brought him here. And hi, Furious. And he said at the end, at the question and answer session, that women would possibly have to put up with, the way to deal with this is a messy compromise. Well, take your dick pandering talk somewhere else, Michael Biggs. Fuck off, just all the way. Yes, all the way. We are living the messy compromise right now. So fuck off with that. There can be no quarter for this. We can cut no quarter. And I said that on someone had posted something else of Michael Biggs's. And, like I say, take what you like, leave the rest. Find the allies that resonate with you. I don't tend to listen to many men on this, because they don't have any lived experience of being a woman and our unique oppression because of our sex. And so on that person's page, I just said, don't be too happy about him because he's, told us we'll have to have a messy compromise. And to that I say, goodbye, get out, goodbye. And then I was told, provide the link, please. Otherwise, anything you say is hearsay. And I'm like, my lived experience isn't hearsay, you fuckhead. I was in the lecture. I sat and watched on a Zoom link live with all the other people and women that were told by Michael Biggs to accept a messy compromise. So you can get out, stay in your lane, man. Stay in your fucking lane. Post Auckland, I have noted I am scared. I'm still going to do things though. I have upped more of my internet presence simply because, we are finding it the climate to go and do things. The climate's changed. But I was a bit surprised to hear that my lived experience is now hearsay because I wouldn't get a link for someone. I just said, I'm not your Google research assistant. I'm not your Google support animal either. People, he come. And I've noticed I am scared. I have been out less. I've been having to rethink and reframe that because, it has shifted badly. Thank you, Martha. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Oh, Florida. Chat. Nice. I'm already antisocial when I stay home as a public service. But I've noticed my agoraphobia that I do suffer with as part of the suite of mental health issues I enjoy. It's really increased. So I'm making moves to, exercise, like by going swimming again and getting back in the groove. And Tranita, Martha, I'm so sorry. But so just getting back to that, and we're going to have to reframe this. I have noticed though on Twitter stories, there's a woke Wellington City councillor who is transing her child, which I believe is child abuse, but there you go. Put up an article, and there were 3 or 4 complimentary, yay, step in the right direction, silence those women, because the editor decided not to print any pro-women letters. They were all too mean. As I say, I used capital letters mocking her because I write letters complaining about the false framing that women, have penises and men get pregnant, and how they don't print any of mine, but I complain regularly to the Media Council about them. And there's a Media Council member who keeps calling me Mr. Landy, even though she knows I'm a woman. And I just go, you can see how tremendously upsetting that is to me, Margot. And her and I are having a laugh about it. I said, see what a bigot you are? See how easy it is for you to be the bigot now? And she wrote back, dear Ms. Landy, I'm so terribly sorry, in a real piss-takey way, because from what I hear, some members on the Media Council are like none too happy at the 50 million plus that the lamestream here have taken. Coming onto reporters, I Had a reporter get in touch with me about talking to the gangster nanny, talking to the gangster granny who'd been bashed in Albert Park. Totally asked for it. I've seen tweets where people say she totally asked for it, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, and well, of course she asked for it. She's a woman. What am I saying? Wash my mouth out. So yeah, at Albert Park, after that, there's some fallout. But a reporter wanted to talk to me, and he was from the Herald, the New Zealand Herald. And I'm going to read you my response. He asked nicely and said he'd like to get the facts and the truth and the truth. He'd like to get the truth. So he asked if he could talk to the gangster nan to get her side of the story and put it all, Yeah, exactly, Radical. It's been so effectively done that any woman asking for her rights now is an actual Nazi. Literal violence. So now capitals are literal violence. And he's asked me and said, I know you're in contact with this woman and we need to confirm all the details to write a story. So he asked me how I am. I said, I'm good, LOL. I wouldn't wrap my cat's shit in your paper, bro. Whipping everyone up until any woman requesting her sex-based rights that are already law are Nazi. I wear the kowai, yet I'm a Nazi for not wanting dick in my toilets, jail, sports and changing rooms. Duplicitous mutt. You employ shitheel Lal, the Krywanker man who instigated that riot. You can, and I say this with all sincerity, fuck off. And when you get there, fuck off some more. So that was my reply to the New Zealand Herald man who wanted to talk to the gangster nan. And he did reply and said, well, don't know about the truth getting out there if you don't let me mansplain it through the lens of the New Zealand Herald. Oh, fuck. I said, I'm laughing so hard right now. I wrote back to him. But because he was, she must let me strain it through my through the male gaze. And I just went, the lame stream that call men and drag women. Accurate reporting. Laughing my fucking ass off. The platform, countless YouTube channels, world media saw the state-sanctioned drug addicts rioting, calling it peaceful and pro-women supporters Nazis. Fair and accurate. Oh, I'm laughing so hard right now. TikTok on this man's rights agenda. Man's rights movement. Think up a good excuse why you thought sterilising children for a nonsense agenda was a good idea. Why placing rapists or stabbers like Pandora No-Box Electra in women's jail? Or why you call a massive Indian man a woman? You're mostly lying dogs. Stop messaging me. So I hope that's clear enough for him now. Just stop bothering me. Terribly antisocial there. I just know that's enough now, team. It's really enough. And here, it's like we're treading water and trying to find, our footing again after I said it before, I think, in a stream, but every woman on the planet saw that. Every woman that's not a ball palming handmaid or got some nuts on her chin for late in the tranny dick. Every woman who saw that thought, what the fuck? Woman hunting season has been declared. And the virtue signalers and people of New Zealand seem to have endorsed it. But the people who have are the people in power, sadly, and the little, they look like parsnips, like they've just been dug up, some of these university people treading the corridors of power. Little whey-faced handmaiden, she looked like she was going to cry when she heard me speak. For the Human Rights Commission, I'm like, well, what are you doing about my human rights? So, you know, we've got a long road, and I don't have any nice soft advice. You know, the people who are newly peaked need to talk to people who are a bit gentler than me. Hi, Lola. Mwah. And, you know, Riley Gaines, that I don't believe that would have been happening if Auckland hadn't have happened. Albert Gate has opened the floodgates on this, and I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. I'm such an optimist, eh? I'm here for the long haul, though, team. This is my 7th year, and I'm still angry. But, you know, this is going to take a long time to turn around. Linda Law, hi. It's, you know, and Riley Gaines, you don't hear any of the trannies here and their tranny lovers going, oh, I hear that swimmer got mobbed and kidnapped and held to ransom. You know, like, no, they're going, oh, wow, a legitimate protest. It's like, no, it's not. Throwing things and shit and, you know, up the air with your noise pollution is not valid protest. You should only be able to use your lungs like we did, you know, back in the day. That's pretty much what I came to say tonight, team. It's a bit like we need to try and find our feet again. We are, you know, there's lots of letter writing and lots of paper and email trails. The police, I think, are under the gun. And I'm hoping that everyone wrote. Anyone can write. Please feel free to write to the police here in New Zealand. If you go to police.gov.nz or whatever the website is, and it says give them some feedback, you can tell them how they did. You can tell them how Sergeant Sean Richardson did on the Saturday, if you like. Clunk, there's the sound of a name. You can do this. It's, you know, no pressure. I've written numerous complaints, asked them to give a $200 fine to every person that broke the noise barrier, you know, with noise control under the Summary Offences Act. And despite the gaslighting that is continuing here, you know, our state broadcaster put out if any trannies out there feeling sad and threatened, please contact the police and tell them all about it. And I'm like, I have direct lived experience of policemen watching my sisters walk to the car getting harassed. They had escorts, and then the Māori wardens finally followed them when they saw the trannies threatening them and saying, well, we're going to go and get some more people to beat you up. So, kia ora, Michelle. And, you know, we're going to get back, as I say, lots and lots and lots of things are happening. There's letters and calling people to account. So if you do have time, an email to the police commissioner asking why they aren't actively seeking the man who punched the gangster Nan, Emily Steele. Emily Ovaries of, there's her middle name. But yeah, the thing is, women are 50% of the population. We're half the world. Half the world. And less than 1% of these mentally ill motherfuckers are trying to erase us in language and law and now in reality. The demands, I'm off on one again, but the demands of them are that you accept that I'm a woman. And if you want to pretend to be a woman, that's up to you, bro. But if you want me to pretend that you're a woman, that's the fuck up to me. It really is, and it's never going to happen. Now, they mistake that hardline, casual, fuck you attitude for, they interpret that as you can't wear the dress and you don't exist. But you see, that's because they're mentally ill and taking drugs, the wrong drugs, wrong sex hormones. So, you know, they're not strong in the mind. And the mental illness is being mistreated, willfully mistreated by Big Pharma for big bucks, because there's no money in talk therapy. They don't want well people. State-sanctioned drug addicts. And so, you know. Oh, yes, thank you, everybody, for joining in. But, yeah, I'm still a little bit all over the place because we need to put in other strategies and we're still going to have to meet But they're trying to say that, we can't say you're a man in a dress, but because they equate that, they're saying now it's hate speech because you hurt my feelings. Well, it's false equivalence. I'm not saying you don't exist. I'm saying you're not a woman. I'm saying you're not a man. Like that Yale swimmer, she's having trouble now. She was a pick for the American team, go team, and then she transitioned and is swimming against the men, and she's rubbish. Can't put my finger on why. Why? So, this willful pretend, and they're making it legal, trying to, and because we've got the police, the government, and the academics captured, and the media, we love a fight, don't we, girls? So we've got four of, most of the judiciary, are on board. And hi, Sarah. Chair. I don't. I only just heard about them today, but Kyle Chapman and all his men went and talked about how great it was that women were allowed to speak, I hear. So that Stand By Your Woman has been hijacked by Kyle Chapman, so I'd put that in the avoid pile. In terms of teaming up with them, that's just for me, because I'm a Jill of all trades and mistress of none, but I like to just be me, I guess. But I see that, and I know Kyle from Christchurch. I lived there. Yeah, this is Martha. I think it's a mass formation hypnosis, psychosis, like the Crusades were just like, oh, we must smut and kill everybody that's different to us. And I'm not saying that Kyle Chapman doesn't care about women or the women in his life or whatever. He's just not the person I'd be keen on talking with. He could probably do with a bit of mantram. So sorry to hear that. Kia ora, tuakana. And yeah, just in terms of that, not just the optics, it's that he's been banging that drum since the 80s, early 90s when I was in Christchurch. So that's why I'd just avoid that, because he's just the same old. I'll push, and a bit like the ones in Australia, just, we're here for our own purposes and we're going to fuck everybody's day. But that guilt by association, the false framing, false starting points, that's what really gets me. Is you're saying we don't exist? Fuck, we can't move for you. And your propaganda and your insistence that you actually are that sex, and you're not. So, I don't misgender, I correctly sex, things like that. But this mass formation psychosis, I believe, has been enabled by the steady attack from our country's own governments in the West. It's democide, death by government, where they enact policies where it's just fuck you, And I see that's been happening, not just with the clot shot. Excuse me. So I get a bit dry. One of my medications, and one of the things I enjoy, they both dry my mouth out. So I'm a sipper. And that's where we are. Well, that's where I am in New Zealand. Lots of stuff happening behind the scenes, lots of furious writing. And if you could, please keep the pressure up, because I do see just if you look at the ratio, and the more moderate people, the more moderate TERFs out there, please, now's the time to start getting out the Resist Gender Education website, the help for the parents, to say, don't teach my child that shit. You need to keep them away from the RSE, because I didn't particularly, I'm glad I didn't have some stranger talking to my son about pornography. There's enough people out there willing to corrupt your children. You don't need it at school 6 hours a day where they're supposed to be safe. Fuck. And it's the ideological pushing, the pushing of this ideology until I think we're tired of it. And I'm waiting for the backlash. It will come. It's not coming soon, but it will come. I'm at 25 minutes. How are that's enough of me, team. You beautiful turfs. Love you all. And yeah, well, Elon Musk. Elon Musk knows, lots of people know transing children is child abuse. It's going to be the longest, most drawn out, most painful I told you so in history. It's going to make Tuskegee look like a walk in the park, even the unfortunate experiment. Thank you all for tuning in. How wonderful. Thank you very much. And I'll keep you posted. There's more sketches to come with Emily Steele. A star is born. And I've been working more online because of my agoraphobia and fear that has been instilled. But I'm going to get back to my life. And I'll see you next time. Ka kite and stay safe. And have a good weekend. Now I'm going to have this fumble at the end. I should actually go and find how to stop this and then, say goodnight. But you know how we are. I'm still learning. Pomari.